There are two pivotal ends of Pennsylvania Avenue, the White House and the U.S. Capitol. The physical distance, just 2 miles apart, but today they could not be farther apart in every other way. As of now, the federal government is shut down, and it is unclear when it'll reopen. Nearly 750,000 federal workers are now without pay, and this stretches across a wide range of agencies. Air traffic controllers and TSA remain on the job at the nation's airports, but without pay, while more than half of the staff for the National Institutes of the Health and Atlanta-based CDC are furloughed. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the shutdown is draining about $400 million every single day, costs that rise sharply the longer this stalemate drags on. Yesterday, congressional leaders attempted to point blame as to who's causing the shutdown.
We didn't ask Democrats to swallow any new Republican policies. We didn't add partisan riders. We simply asked Democrats to extend existing funding levels to allow the Senate to continue the bipartisan appropriations work that we started. And Senate Democrats said no.
Republicans once again rejected Democrats' proposals to avoid a shutdown, fix health care premiums, and spare Americans the calamity of skyrocketing through the roof health care costs. Republicans blocked it again, once again.
All right, so what's happening now and where do we go from here? We bring in Sina, an assistant professor of supply chain management at Georgia State's Robinson College of Business. Welcome back to the show.
Hello and good morning. Happy to be here.
All right, now that we are here, what should Americans first brace for with agencies closed for the time being?
So I think this will have primarily a human effect. All these employees that are not getting paid, this is going to have a real impact on their lives and their morale at work. Some of them have to be working without pay. So that's the first effect. Secondarily, other citizens might see delays in processing their government-related efforts, perhaps travel, and airport lines will be longer, rail traffic will be slower, and some of the services at national parks will also be impacted.
There have been government shutdowns for decades, many different administrations, but we're hearing that this shutdown could hit American households harder than previous ones. Why do you think that's the case, and what are you expecting?
So one of the things that the Trump administration has said they'll do is they'll try to make some of these furloughs permanent. And so they'll try to use the opportunity to reduce some of the forces they have. So that might have a longer term impact on labor if that happens. And last time we had a 35-day, more than a month of shutdown, and it had a tangible effect on the economy. It's important to remember if these payments are not paid to government employees, that's just less money going around, and then these people will not be able to buy other things, and so other businesses will be impacted in a chain reaction.
Let's talk more about that, because is there a point of no return where a temporary shutdown really morphs into lasting economic scars?
So it's more of an accelerating effect. So if it only lasts for 1 or 2 weeks, probably negligible effect, because once everybody's back to work, payments will be made and some of the delays will be handled. A very small amount of business activity may never come back because it was just canceled, or the delay has a permanent mark on it. But for the most part, it will have a small effect. But if it becomes longer, problems accelerate. This is kind of like a household. If you're not get paid for 1 or 2 weeks, perhaps you can handle it. You have enough budget to deal with it. But if you're not paid for a month or longer, then you will have to deal with much more serious consequences.
Do you think we'll see a ripple effect in the supply chain?
I think it adds up every week because, again, government is a big player in the economy, and they pay a lot of people and they create a lot of business activity as they purchase different things. And so if they stop doing that, many businesses and many households don't get paid, and then that starts a chain reaction throughout the supply chain. Level by level, people don't get paid, business activity slows down, and so you get weaker and weaker economy after that.
In Georgia, which industries do you expect will feel the pain first?
So a lot of industries that are primarily represented by the government, probably things related to education or some non-essential parts of health, as you mentioned, perhaps some of the CDC employees. We are also in a very supply chain heavy region of the country. And so lots of business in Georgia depends on air travel and rail and transportation. Some of that will be affected.
Yeah, no doubt. I was thinking about business travel as you were saying that. That starts in Atlanta at the world's busiest airport and goes all over the place. Do you see companies maybe delaying orders, contracts, even hiring because there is this uncertainty as of this morning with the shutdown? No one's certain what's coming next and what a timeline might look like.
Uncertainty is indeed one of the worst things that can happen to business activity. And at this point, as a business manager, you have no idea if this thing is going to take, a few days, a week, or a month or so. So the natural reaction from the prudent reaction from many business leaders could actually be slowing down the decision making and not investing, not committing too long on things that they're not sure about. So this uncertainty could actually have a substantial effect on business activity as well.
And as we always see, small businesses tend to be more vulnerable, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because this all depends on how much buffer you have, how much financial resources and inventory you have to deal with temporary disruptions like this. But the smaller firms don't have much of that, so they are much more vulnerable.
All right, so many impacts and so much uncertainty. So we really appreciate the insight and what this impact could really mean. Sina Golara, always good to get your insight. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you very much.
All right.